You ever wonder how you can tell the story of a life when, all that's left is paper? Well, today, we're basically becoming historical detectives. We're going to piece together a whole person just from the documents she left behind. All right, let's get into it. So this is our big question, right? Who was Amy Champlin Oatley? We've got a name, but who was the actual person? We're going to use census records, a last will, probate files, all of it, to really uncover the story of this 19th century American woman. And our whole puzzle starts with just this: a name, a birth year, and a death year. It really doesn't seem like much to go on, does it? But between those two dates is an entire lifetime, a marriage, a huge family, and a world so different from ours. Okay, so to get started, we're going to look for the hard facts, the kind of information that gets officially recorded. These numbers and dates, they give us the basic framework, the skeleton of Amy's life. This timeline really maps out her whole journey. She's born in Rhode Island, gets married incredibly young. Think about it. She was just 15 years old. And then later moves to Connecticut. So this is the basic outline of her story. Now let's start adding some flesh to those bones.
Census records are pretty cool. They're like these little snapshots in time, taken 10 years apart. So in 1850, her husband Jonathan is a stonecutter, and they don't have any real property listed. But fast forward to 1860, and his job is listed as a mason, and check it out, they've acquired real estate valued at $1,000. You can literally see them slowly building a more stable life, piece by piece.
These public records give us a great outline, but now we're going to shift from the public to the deeply personal. Because Amy wasn't just a name on a census form. She was the head of a massive household. 14. Just let that number sink in for a second. 14. That's how many children Amy Oatley gave birth to. I mean, can you even imagine? In an age with no modern medicine, that number, that sheer physical reality, it wasn't just part of her life, it pretty much was her life. And seeing their names, it just makes it so real. This isn't just some statistic, these were individuals. John Alfred, Joseph, Elmira, these are actually the 10 kids she named in her will. Now, in total, records suggest that 13 of her 14 children lived all the way to adulthood, which, for the time, was absolutely incredible. And now we get to what might be the most important document in our whole investigation, her will. This is the absolute closest we can get to hearing Amy's own voice, to understanding what she wanted for the family and property she'd spent her entire life building. This is just remarkable. It's a legal document, right? But it doesn't start with cold instructions. It starts with emotion. For love and affection I have for them. In the super formal language of a will, that one phrase is such a powerful, humanizing detail. It shows us exactly what mattered most to her. Okay, and this right here might be the single most revealing detail in this entire story. Take a look at the signature. Except, well, it's not a signature, is it? It actually says, her Amy X Oatley mark. Amy couldn't write her own name. Her entire last will and testament, everything she was leaving behind, was sealed with a simple X. So what does this X really tell us? For a woman born in the late 1700s, who got married at 15 and was busy running a household with over a dozen kids, a formal education was just an unimaginable luxury. This X isn't about a lack of intelligence, it's about a lack of opportunity. It tells a much bigger story about her world, her reality, and the incredible strength it took to navigate it all. So after Amy passed away, the legal process kicks in. Her will is really just the beginning. The probate records, they show us exactly what happened next. We get to see her final wishes turned into a dollars and cents reality. And the process was super methodical. First, an inventory valued her property at $850. But the estate had debts, so the court ordered the property to be sold, and her son Joseph, who was the executor, he actually managed to get $950 for it. Nice. Finally, he had to present a final accounting of all the costs. And here it is, the final balance sheet of Amy's life. Her total estate was valued at $983, but after paying over $470 in debts, another $21 for her final illness, and $15 for her funeral, wow, you really start to see the stark economic reality of her world. This chart really puts that financial pressure into perspective. Almost 88% of the estate's value went right back out the door to pay off debts. It was only whatever was left after settling everything that the family would actually get to inherit. And this was the final sum, $443.93. This was it, the tangible legacy, the result of a lifetime of work, which was then divided among her 10 surviving children.
So, by piecing together all these little fragments, a census entry, a long list of children, a will that was sealed with just an X, and a final accounting, we've gone from a simple name and date to a really detailed portrait of a real person. We've uncovered her journey, her family, her struggles, and her love.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. A century and a half from now, if someone tries to piece together your life, what are they going to find? In our digital world, what kind of paper trail are we even leaving behind? And what story will it tell?